Okay. Hello, everyone. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Whee. Got my cute little hat on for a minute anyway. Okay, that's good. Oh my gosh, stop. My computer is doing something weird. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm not trying to do this right now. Okay, no. No, get out of here. Okay, there we go. Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to have you here. All right. Hi, Alexis. Hi, Geraldine. Hi, Dennis. Heidi. Nice to see you. The girl and her gong. Nice to see you guys. I got my Adventure Time hat on because we're going to be talking about some Adventure Time stuff. Hi, Barry. Oh, you're probably so sleepy. I know you're in the other side of the world here, so I don't blame you if you have to go at any point in time, guys. Oh, it's Maureen. Hi, Maureen. Thanks. Yeah, see, I'm going with my Fiona look, as you guys know. We're also in my new place. I don't have my normal chair though because we couldn't actually fit it into my room. So I'm gonna try and get the lighting a little bit better here. I might have to turn on the big light. I don't know, guys. But yeah, so I got my Adventure Time hat on. Now, some of you may be wondering, like, why do the Adventure Time humans always have these little animal hats on? I don't know if you guys ever wondered that, but I did for quite a long time until I figured out why. And that was because in Adventure Time world, it's basically a post-apocalyptic Earth. Okay, and it happens 1,000 years ago. It happens in the 20th century, though. Okay, Adventure Time takes place 1,000 years after the 20th century, which they say that what happened was something called the Great Mushroom War, which was basically when all the bombs went off and destroyed like half of the not half of the Earth, like a big chunk of the Earth was like blown up a little bit, and then it mutated a bunch of the humans into what they call oozers, okay? And then it also mutated a bunch of the wildlife and things and elements of things of that nature and turned them into magical beings. It basically unleashed magic into its full potential during this great mushroom war, okay? So the reason that they wear these hats, the humans do, is because they're trying to disguise themselves as animals, okay? Because otherwise they get attacked by the oozers and such like that. So it becomes like a regular thing for the Adventure Time universe. And I think I am going to turn on the other light, guys. I can barely see myself. Okay, hold on one second. Stay with me. Let's see if that helps. That makes me feel a little better. Yeah, somewhat. Okay. Oh, it's nice to be here with all of you guys again, though. I'm really happy to be in my new place, and I'm happy to show it to you guys here. Just a little bit of it. This is just the start. Okay, this is just the start of all the stuff I'm going to put back up around my my Buddha here. Okay. So I'm so happy to be out of the house that I was in before, and I thought about it. I was thinking about it on the way here. And I was thinking about the fact that I really did learn a lot from that experience. And, what are some of the things that I learned from that experience? Well, for one, I learned that I can't be bought. That me and my family can't be bought, because that is basically what happened. I was living in a beautiful home that I had manifested that was like my dream home. But the cost of living in it was that I had a man who was paying for it and basically asking me to pretend to have feelings I didn't. Okay. Hi, Chris. Nice to see you over there. And so I just realized, and here's the thing. And I thought I could. I thought someone spending all this money on me, I thought that would create some kind of a natural connection to that person like a feeling of like, oh, thank you so much, type of thing. And maybe it would have if there wasn't the abuse that was going along with it. Okay, but it was basically like he would fuck up and then he would throw money at me and buy me stuff in order to just put up with it. And he kept promising to change and it just was not happening. And then not just that, but I never once felt, I'm an empath, okay? I feel people's feelings. I never felt anything good coming from this man. I don't know how else to put it than that. I never felt anything good coming from this man. And that was why I was not surprised when Spirit gave me, his list of characters, because people who come into my life who are important to me, Spirit always gives me a list of characters that I can relate to so I can know something about these people. Okay. And as you guys know, some of the characters that they gave me, the one that stands out to me most when it comes to the lack of heart is the Davy Jones character that he was. Okay, because Davy Jones literally cut out his heart and corrupted his purpose and was just very harsh and unbending when it came to the way he wanted things run. Okay, and I just that wasn't me. Like someone just couldn't tell me, you have to do it my way now. It was like I was my own person. And then I got into that house and it was like that person wasn't good enough anymore. My children weren't good enough anymore. It didn't matter all of the months ahead of time that this man had to get to know us. Suddenly it was like all just in his mind, something he was going to bend and shape when he just got us in here. And I was, I'm just thinking about some of the other things that I learned through this. So I learned that money doesn't buy connection. Money doesn't buy emotional connection. That if I'm not feeling like it tells me something if I'm not feeling anything good coming from you. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not feeling any type of feelings whatsoever coming from you, it tells me about a person now. I have to trust myself. Some of the other characters that they gave me for him though, well, they told me that he was like the Ferengi from Star Trek, but there's another Star Trek character that they gave me for that I'm going to mention here towards the end. They told me that he was whenever heart songs came to me about how he was feeling towards me, it was The Weeknd. They would send me things with The Weeknd, which was so funny because they actually had an entire movie that The Weeknd, in a series actually, like a 4-part series that The Weeknd was a part of, and it was called The Idol. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I if you like to watch bad things, which I am kind of someone who I like good things. I like good shows and good movies, but I also kind of like to watch bad shows and bad movies too. This movie basically showed me exactly what this man had hoped for. Okay, which was forget all of the past things that I did that were bad and just pretend like it didn't happen. And I could not do that. There was not, was the money was not worth it. At this point, I look back at it and I'm like, wow, was any of that really worth it? I didn't even have to ask for things and this person would just buy them. Okay, all I ever really wanted was just a safe home. That's all I wanted. I wanted a safe home for my children and food for them to eat. That was it. Those are the main 2 things that I even cared about. And it got out of control. It was above and beyond that because I would just hit, oh, you know what? I think I kind of like that thing, or I kind of like this one thing. And the next thing I know it's bought for me. It was very interesting experience, quite honestly. It also showed me now moving into this house, what a difference in the energy that I was bringing into it, like into the situation. Cause in the last house, okay, I moved into it and I got really depressed. I was so depressed. All I could do was basically sit outside. I didn't even want to sit in the house. I just sat outside and smoked cigarettes in the backyard and like daydreamed and went astral traveling and stuff like that and listened to music, which was nice. And that was fun too, to a certain extent. But the reason I was doing that and escaping that way was because of how depressed I was about the situation that even though I was living in a beautiful home, I knew that the ways of the relationship that had been established in order to have that was just not in alignment with who I am at all. There's some other things that I wanted to mention too, things that I'm thinking about now that I'm processing all this. Like I can see now too, like what of like what is the difference between when I moved out of the last home, okay, as opposed to this home, okay? The two homes, okay? Because you got like you don't realize it. I moved before I started my live streams. I was actually living in another home that was in pretty rough condition. It wasn't the best living situation as far as I was living with my daughter's father, my daughter and son's father, and we weren't really getting along anymore. And I realized, I'm like, why was that such a different transition? Because I was happy to move here, right? I was happy to move here. But the biggest difference in that transition was the forcefulness. Like I wasn't forced out of the house that I was living in the first time. I was violently forced out of the home I was living in just now. And it was violent. That is the only other that's the best word I can use to describe how this person went about forcing us out of that home. You know, all I wanted was just enough time to get get things together so that way I could find a good place. But you know what? Look at that. I did it. I still did it. And that is something that I am actually really grateful for is the fact that even though it went down like that, it did show me that I was capable and able of finding a way to provide for my family myself. And that has been the most freeing feeling that I have had where it's like I don't feel forced into a relationship with someone. Like even though I was like I talked them into having like an open relationship. Okay, I didn't even consider it a relationship, quite honestly. Like I didn't feel that way. I wasn't proud to say, "Oh, this is I'm living with my boyfriend." You know, I didn't even like to say the word boyfriend. And for what here's the truth. Like I didn't want no open relationship. I just knew that I didn't want that relationship. And I wanted to leave it open for him to have his eyes open for someone else to come along and sweep him up because I knew it wasn't going to be me. I knew with how he treated me that it wasn't going to be me. You know, I go to all these conferences all the time, and I ain't gonna lie, guys. There were times where I would have, especially at the beginning, where I would have loved to have taken him on one of these to one of these conferences. He wanted to go. He wanted to go one of these conferences with me, and I told him under one condition. I had one condition, and that condition was that he not pick a fight with me for 1 week. I said, if you could just not pick a fight with me for 1 week and show me that we can actually get along and be peaceful for 1 week, then you can come. Then I'll be fine with it. And wouldn't you know it, he never showed up to a conference with me. Very strange, right? Oh, wait, no, that's right. Because there wasn't a single week that went by that he did not pick a fight with me. Like it literally was forcing me. I was paying for that house, like I've said before, with my life force, with my very life. It was smothering me. It was killing me. I didn't feel like there was any way for me to get out. I was like just praying, like, God, like help me find a way to make this situation better or help me find a way to get out. You know, because it was truly the probably the hardest relationship that I've ever had to go through. And I've been through some pretty hard relationships. But the biggest part of it was just that no there was no feeling in there. There was no feeling for this person. There was like, it didn't matter how hard I tried. I just kept thinking, like, there's got to be something. There's got to be something we can connect on, something to where we can be friends and we can get along. And that just, that just wasn't going to happen because he wasn't about to let that happen. He wanted me to be something I wasn't. He bought a package. He bought something that he thought I'm gonna have this family and they're gonna behave this certain way and they're going to do these things that I tell them to do because I'm obviously, since he was the one paying for all of it, you know, he should be the one that tells us what the rules are and what to do, right? You know, it was very difficult, and you know I only really had two physical friends, and I know I'd like to put something completely different on we are still going to go into that stuff, just so you know. Um, oh, hi Braden, hi Queen Victor, nice to see you guys. So, but yeah, oh, I forget what I was just about to say. Maybe that's for the best. I just know that I want to get it all out. You know what I'm saying? I have no doubt that I'm going to be processing this still for quite a while. But let me tell you the difference of when I moved into this house. Instead of being depressed, which I was sad, my heart was still sad about having to leave that other house, but I was also extremely happy. Like when I first moved into that other house, I couldn't even dance. I didn't even have the inspiration or the motivation to dance. It took me months to get that back at the other house. And this house, I danced the first night. I danced the first night that I was here. And I just was driven to do it like I used to have been in the house before that. I had my own place. It was quite comfortable. It was my parents' house before we bought the house, the other one beforehand. So yeah, so far all in all, I'd say I'm doing pretty good. And that's the other thing I've noticed too is that I actually want to decorate. I want to decorate. I feel like it's actually my space, like it's a safe space for me. And what a difference that makes. Oh, hi, Jesse. Nice to see you. Okay. So let's see. Is there anything else I want to add before I get into this? I'm happy to be back here live streaming. I've been so busy, you guys. Like I didn't even know for sure. I like literally have to carve out time just to make sure that I get a live stream done because I want to be live streaming still. I wanted to come here. I've been having all these things that have just been stirring in my heart now that I'm in a place where I can feel safe to be myself. Oh, that's the other thing. I even have gained weight. I've been able to eat every day, which okay. First of all, I'm someone, I'll be honest with you guys. I like the feeling of being hungry. I just do. I like that feeling. And when I'm depressed, it feels even better for some reason. When I'm depressed or anxious or stressed out, not eating feels good to do. But I've actually made the effort. I feel hungry. I've been eating, and I could tell because I had gone to the store about 2 weeks ago, and I bought a new pair of jeans. This pair right here, and when that was the smallest size they had, and it was still even like a little bit baggy, and I was like, oh, I need to gain some weight, and within a week, they were fitting right again. So I mean, this is some good signs here. Things are really going to start turning around for me. I feel like I hear something in the background over there. Hopefully, it's not showing up on the mic too bad. But yeah, so today I wanted to talk to you guys about one of my favorite stories, mainly because they just finished the series of Fiona and Cake, which is a spinoff of Adventure Time. Okay, and they finally wrapped up and brought this story into a full circle, and it was just so beautiful that I wanted to come and share this with you guys because to me, these types of stories, these types of oh, and that is the one thing I forgot. I brought it back. Characters, because like I've mentioned to you guys before, the characters you're drawn to, the stories that you're drawn to, they tell you about yourself. They tell you about who you are, who you were, who you will be. That's what they tell you. And so pay attention to the things that move you the most. And so here I'm basically telling you guys something about myself. There's things that about my story, about my soul's path, okay, in this universe that I know this is the reason that I'm attracted to these stories, okay? But one of the other characters that I wanted to mention real quick before I forget, wrapping up on the man that I used to live with. See, that was the thing, and that's another way I could tell like things were not going good. Was not only could I not call him a boyfriend, I would refer. It only felt comfortable to say the man that I'm living with. Okay, and so right as I was getting to move out of that house, they gave me one more character for him, and they showed me that it was a character from Star Trek: The Next Generation. It was someone from the. I'm pretty sure it was the I don't know which season it was. I'm sorry, guys. I think it might be the first season, maybe the second. And it was this episode where Deanna, like a shuttle crash happens, and it's on this planet that's barren, but it has this puddle of black goo. Okay, and this puddle of black goo is actually a being, an entity that comes up and shape shifts like just like a big blob basically, and its name was Armus. Okay, I don't know if any of you people out there like the Star Trek Next Generation. I imagine someone watching this stream knows what I'm talking about, Star Trek Next Generation. So there's this character named Armus, and that character was basically the shadow elements of an entire race that had been filtered out of the race, and they had left this part of themselves on this planet. Okay, and it just absolutely, it loved messing with people. It was sadistic, is what it was. It was sadistic, and I would absolutely say that is a quality or a trait that I would assign to this other person. That's what it felt like. That's what it came across as. It came across as like, because Deanna Troy tried to get a read on him because she was the counselor, she was the empath, and she couldn't pick up anything. She just kept picking up darkness. She couldn't really pick up what was going on with this being that much. And eventually they barely escaped. It killed Tasha Yar. It killed one of the Star Trek characters. Okay, and that was the last one that they left me with, and it made complete sense to me, having lived through that's the type of character that is what a narcissist is. And now that's what it makes me think about when it comes to narcissism, okay, and human beings, because I'm sure some people maybe are born narcissistic, but I think most of them are created through their childhood experiences. And what this told me was that, and it also reminded me of the fact that my own heart, before it was cleaned up, broke open and cleaned up and restarted, it was surrounded in that black goo. It reminded me of that. So it makes me think that this is something that happens to people. It was just around my heart, but what if an entire person was just, that's all they ever experienced, really, and they didn't even know any different. They didn't even know any better, because one of the other characters that they gave for him was Fern from Adventure Time, which was basically Finn, a duplicate of Finn, but his consciousness was demonic, basically. Okay, so it's like almost like the Hanged Man, but just like completely backwards perspective on what love is. I think that this person doesn't know what real love is. I don't think that he was ever shown that. I don't think that he was ever given that. And I think that's what eventually creates more narcissists in the world, is just not really knowing what true love is, and not having been given that example. So anyway, I'm sure there will be more. Yeah, you feel me, Braden. You feel me. Oh, hello there, Stella Schreiner. Nice to see you. Let's see. So we're going to talk about some Adventure Time now. Some Ice King and Betty. We're going to get to the topic now. All right, the whole reason that I wanted to come in and do this live stream. Okay, so there's some of the backup things, or some of the background things that I should tell you guys. First of all, is that am I going to start with that? Okay, so the thing that I have on the thumbnail is a picture of the time room. Okay, so inside the time room there is a being, a cosmic being, very powerful being named Prismo, who is a wish granter. Okay, now Prismo at one point goes and explains to Jake and Finn, the main characters, okay, that we are all living in the multiverse. All right, now the reason I'm bringing this up and talking about it so much is because, and love it so much, is because I truly believe that this is truth for all of us. I think that they are showing us the truth about our reality, the nature of our reality in our world, okay, through this show. All right, so in the time room, Prismo explains that when someone comes to him and they make a wish, that part of what happens is that he has to create a wish-altered reality. And then he shows them, Finn and Jake, a picture of the multiverse, which is a bunch of bubbles, okay, that are all connected by a web. All right, so I feel like this is like the different realities and the different dimensions, you know what I'm saying? Like, and for Finn specifically, like there's some things that we know about him when it comes to reincarnation. Like every single lifetime that he has, he loses an arm. Right? There are some consistencies, okay, and then there's variation. Okay, so there's some things about you as a soul, as a child of God, okay, that there's some things that are going to be like your calling card that you come through every single lifetime, and this is part of what shows you who you are. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, for Finn, it was he always had an armor. He was always a hero. Okay, he always ended up having that heart of gold in the long run, and he always lost an arm. He always found Princess Bubblegum in whatever version she was at. Okay, because in different universes, there's you. Okay, but it's just a little bit different than the you that is in this universe. Okay, so let's get to talking about the Ice King. So in Adventure Time, you get introduced to a character. He's called the Ice King. Okay, one of the reasons I love Adventure Time is because the story unfolds over time. Like they took 10 seasons to give us the full story of the Ice King and Betty, and then they took another spin-off season just to complete the story. Okay? So the Ice King, he was formerly known as Simon Petrikov. Okay, he lived in the 20th century. He was an antiquarian, is what he's called. He was a professor. He wrote a book, okay, about antiquities. All right. And part of what he liked to do is he liked to go treasure hunting for these magical objects that no one believed in anymore. One of these objects was the Ice King's crown. Okay, which again, no and people his peers, his teacher peers or whatever, they basically looked at him like he was crazy. And he even taught a whole class on it, and gave his ideals, his proposals about how he believed that this crown was a real thing and it was really magic. And he was basically laughed at, except for one person. One person didn't laugh at him, and it was this woman, this student named Betty Groff. Okay, so together they ended up traveling together to go search for these antiquities, okay, that he was so interested in. And she was a archaeologist. Okay, so she very much enjoyed this type of work. She enjoyed following him. She enjoyed doing these things with him. Okay, and eventually he did find the crown. All right, now this was, again, like I mentioned earlier in the stream, the Great Mushroom War happened in the 20th century, which was a bomb that lit off that basically brought magic back out into the world, but it also transformed and like killed a bunch of people. They turned them into like zombies and called oozers, basically. Well, the Ice King actually could put the crown on in order to he could use the ice power to keep the people that he loved safe. But the problem is that when he put the ice crown on, is that it slowly started to change him. It slowly started to change him into the Ice King, because the crown originally was created to as a wish crown. Basically, you would put the crown on, you would make a wish, and you would get that one wish. Okay. Well, the first person who ever put the crown on wished to be an ice elemental, wished to be the Ice King, basically. And so it slowly started to transform Simon. And at one point he went crazy. Okay. He put it on, he went crazy, and he scared Betty off, and he never saw her again. And you find out during the episodes, basically, that that he actually documented his slow decline. Okay, he never saw her again, but he still documented the fact that he was slowly changing into this other person that was mad, was absolutely crazy. Okay, so yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I stay on my notes and I don't forget anything, so just bear with me here for a second. Okay, so basically 1,000 years after he put on the ice crown and he slowly transformed into the Ice King, he completely forgot who he was. Okay, and after 1,000 years, you could find him. Basically, he created the whole Ice Kingdom, and what he liked to do was kidnap princesses. Now, I thought it was kind of interesting too that he actually would call Betty his princess. So it's like some part of him still remembered that there was something out there that he was living for and looking for, but at the same time, he was completely gone. Okay, so let's see how we transition to this part. Okay, so at one point during the show, Okay, because how does Betty get in this? Okay, because at first all you have is the Ice King. You get to see him pulling his shenanigans. He's like obsessed with Finn and Jake. He wants to be best friends with them. He even kidnaps them at some points from time to time. But he's basically kind of harmless. He's not really trying to really hurt anyone because he truly believes that these people are his friends. So he doesn't ever go all the way hurting them. So there's a city in Adventure Time, the Land of Ooo, called Wizard City, where all the wizards could gather and buy things, buy and sell things. And the Ice King is just really looking for a friend, and he kind of sneaks into the city and he watches these three wizards, and they're doing a ritual, okay, to get some new special power. All right. And right at the end of the ritual, Ice King comes out and he's like, "Hey man, like I could let me be part of this too. I want to do this, and they're like, no, what did you're ruining the ritual, dude. Like, why are you even here?" And at that moment, they realize that they've been played. The Grand Wizard comes in. He's like, "You guys, what are you doing? That ritual is not the right type of ritual to do. You're about to actually bring in a really nasty entity." And they do, and it's called Bella Notte. Let me see what it is. Bella Noche. So they actually end up summoning this black cube being, okay, that zaps magic from people. It sucks magic out of people and things, and it grows bigger every time it sucks in this magic. All right. So the Ice King, his crown and himself actually get completely turned back to normal. And this is 1,000 years later. Okay. He's back to his Simon now. And he's like, oh my gosh, it's 1,000 years later. He's like, and the first thing he thinks, he's like, I need to get a hold of Betty. I need to get a hold of Betty because I need to tell her that I'm sorry that I put on the crown and that I did all that and that it basically ruined our life together. So he gets his friends together and um they do this spell, okay, and it opens a portal, a time portal, and he finds Betty and he doesn't go through the portal. He just opens the portal to where she's at and he tells her, I'm so sorry. I never like I know what moment this is right now, and it was like right after he went crazy on her for a second and she went and hid. And he's like, I'm so sorry that happened. I never should have put the Ice King crown on. Um, please forgive me. And she's like trying to understand. She's like, but wait a second, you seem fine now, and he's like, yeah, but I'm 1,000 years into the future, and so like this is just my one and only chance that I could have to say goodbye, because now my body is aging really rapidly since I don't have the Ice King's magic to keep me alive. And she goes, you know what, actually I think I know why I disappeared now. I think, and he's like, what do you mean, and she goes, because I'm going to leave you for you, silly. And she jumps through this portal and she throws her arms around Simon, who is, still himself at that time. But the thing is he's dying. Okay. So now she wants to save him. All right. She flies with him back to Wizard City. Okay. Cause she's like, I am going, she has a match. She actually, um, punches another wizard out and steals the magic carpet that he has. And so she flies to where Bella Noche is, okay, where all the other wizards are still gathered and trying to fight it and slowly just getting plucked off one by one. And Death even rolls up next to Simon and he's like, dude, we're about to be meeting, guy. Like, I'm here. And if you put that crown back on, you're the one that's going to be losing out, because Death knows it's going to drive him crazy again. So he's like, she's got about 15 seconds, buddy, And she gets on that magic carpet and she flies over to the black cube and she finds a little hole in it. She jumps into it, and inside it is the being of Bella Noche, and she punches her and it knocks her out. Like, that's what it took. It took someone actually going into the cube and knocking this entity or this being out. And when she did that, it destroyed the entity and all the magic was returned. And of course, that brought the Ice King back. Okay, but now she basically was stuck 1,000 years in the future. She's not magical. She knows a lot, but the Ice King doesn't even recognize her. He calls her weird lady. And she says she's just determined. She's going to find a way to bring him back. Okay. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Yep. Got that. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, so she's trying to find all these reasons, all these ways to bring Ice King, turn Ice King back into Simon in a way that where he doesn't just die instantly, so she can spend her life with him. Okay, she gets this ideal from another character in the show called Magic Man. Okay, Magic Man himself also has a kind of a tragic backstory, which I'm like, this is a kid show, guys. Like, this is a kid show. I'm quite shocked that this is all the things that are, these heavy storylines are in this kid show. But maybe that's what makes it easier for adults to watch it with the kids. I don't know. I don't really feel like it's a kid show. I feel like it's more like an adult show. So there's this other guy named Magic Man who's actually a Martian who was sent to Earth as punishment for being a real douchebag, basically, after his wife dies. His wife is named Margles. She actually doesn't just die like through normal circumstances. She actually got taken by a god, a demon god of chaos named Golb. Okay, now this guy was like Golb. This Golb character. This was the first time that we really got to hear about this Golb character. Okay, but so Margles was taken, and Magic Man is kind of in a very similar state where he just wants to find a way to bring his wife back. And at one point, he even goes to Prismo, the Wishmaster, and he asks for Prismo if he wishes for his wife to come back, and it can't be done because there's something about Golb's power that just doesn't let that happen. All right, so Betty and Magic Man are going to do a ritual again, though. He's just determined he's going to find a way to get back his wife. But Betty has a secret plan in her own mind where she's like, actually, I'm going to switch the ritual and I'm going to try and bring back my Simon. And sure enough, she is successful. And she ends up basically taking all of Magic Man's magic. And now she herself has become a magical being. Okay, but the thing about magic in the land of Ooo is that it has a tendency to drive people mad, sad or mad, okay, or both. All right, and that is the thing about magic. If you don't know how to wield it properly, I guess, so to speak, if you don't have your ego in check, you can end up, I think, doing a lot of bad magical things and karmically bringing a lot back on yourself. So she ends up taking this magic from Magic Man, and now she's even more determined. She is going to get Simon to remember who she is. She tries all these different ways to try and get him to remember. She tries taking him out on a replica of their first date. She just tries tinkering with the crown itself to try and, like, because it actually has like technology in it, like it's like a computer. She can hook it up to this computer thing. She tries tampering with it in that way. All these ways fail, though. All these ways fail. And finally, the last spell, or one of the last spells that she does, it actually is a crime, what she does. And so she actually gets sent back to Mars, where the once Magic Man who was condemned to Earth, he actually gets sent back to Mars after he becomes normal man, because now he's not mad, and he's able to go and he's able to apologize for the way he behaved to his family and to the people of the kingdom on Mars. Okay, so he's basically the ruler of Mars now, and they call him Normal Man. So since she committed a crime, they go ahead and they send her to Mars, where she's given a punishment where she has to basically be sorting grains of sand for I don't know how long, but it was something that was going to take a very, very long time. Okay, so but she gets one last ideal. Okay, she gets one last ideal, but in order to pull it off, she needs Normal Man's help. Okay, and the way she ends up luring him to help her is that she tells him, we could bring back Margles. We could bring back your wife if you do this with me. Okay, and so he agrees to do it. All right, now what is the ritual that they're going to do now? The ritual they're going to do now is they are going to summon the demon god of Golb. They're going to open a portal and summon him into the land of Ooo. And they're going to basically, demand that he fix Simon and bring back Margles. Okay. Obviously, things don't go exactly as planned. I mean, this is the god of chaos. What would make you think that you could control this guy. I don't even know, but he looks basically. I should show you guys a picture of him too, so you can see what I'm talking about. This does not look like a good guy. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and pull that picture up real quick. Okay, yeah. So here's a picture of what he looks like. Now, this is the character, and he's a giant. He's absolutely giant. And what I'm starting to realize about Adventure Time is that these cosmic beings are like they're gods, okay, but they're also like there's a certain order, there's a certain laws and things that they have to follow. Otherwise, they actually even get held accountable and they get in trouble. And I think that this particular demon god, um, he's where, like, if you really f up, like he's the one that comes and he basically turns you into a shape and you start floating around his head forever. Okay, so she does this ritual. They open, and this is the very last episode of Adventure Time itself before we go on to Fiona and Cake, which I might split this up into 2 parts just so y'all know, because I don't know how much I'm going to get through today right now. Like, there's so much more even after I get done to this last part that I think I'm just going to do the second part next week. But so they open this portal, and Gold comes down, and Ice King is the only one that can save the day now. And so Finn and Jake, they get Ice King up to where Betty is at on her little her flying carpet, and she's doing the ritual. And part of what she does in the ritual is that she moves her hands back and forth like this, and she says, "Reveal the path and grant me passage. Reveal the path and grant me passage." And that's part of what he does later on in the Fiona and Cake episodes too. That's part of the ritual that they do. But Ice King is able to distract her by pretending that he's talking to another princess or Fiona. And she gets so upset about this because she's like, "Are you really trying to stop me when I'm this close to saving you? Like, that's all I've wanted to do was just to save you this whole time. Like, why would you try and stop me now?" Like, because that's the thing. She was a magical being now, but it drove her mad. And so when she gets mad, her emotions just go haywire, and her heart basically lets off this, like, an emotional charge. Okay, and it blows up her altar that she had that was part of what was creating the energy to open this portal. Okay, it blows it up, and her and Ice King end up flying into Golb's mouth and getting swallowed, and Finn actually jumps in there after them. Okay, as they are in Golb's stomach, which is basically a red cube room. Okay, Golb is digesting them down to their essential forms. That is part of what this god does, is he digests things down to their essential forms so that way he can rebuild with them or whatnot. And so it actually works. It actually, as they get digested, Ice King actually turns back into Simon. And at the same time, it also neutralizes the magic in the crown. And eventually it gets reset completely, but we don't know that towards the end of them escaping here. Okay, so outside of Golb's stomach, though, the rest of the Adventure Time people are there, and they're, obviously this is super bad. The God of Chaos is here. He's obviously really scary. He's making all sorts of craziness happen to where his magic comes from this magic breath comes out of him, and it starts mutating all of the different beings and creatures that are there to help and everything like that, and it turns them into like just hodgepodge creatures that are just absolutely disgusting and shrieking, and kind of remind me of like a Demogorgon type of stuff from Stranger Things, if you guys have ever seen that. And so everyone feels like this is it. There's no saving. How are we ever going to get, like, this demon god is here? How are we ever going to fix this problem? And it just so happens that Bimo, which is the character that represents childhood innocence and love, Bimo starts singing a song. Okay, and as he starts singing this, the creatures that Gold made, okay, they are repelled by this. They actually can't even attack Bimo because the music. Okay, And so what they all do, everyone in Adventure Time around the area starts singing this song, and it starts to drive that god of chaos back, at least the bad guys that he had created. Jake, who's the shape-shifting dog, as you guys know, he shape-shifts into a giant speaker, all right, and he puts it on Gulb's stomach, okay? And the music, okay, basically burrows a hole, a tunnel into Gulb's stomach. And this is the opportunity that Simon and Betty and Finn have to escape at the very last moment. Even though Simon is just like, I'm so happy to be with you again. I'm so happy to be me again. You know, let's get out of here. Like they thought they were about to die. Okay. And now there's a way out, and they have hope. They can go out. But Betty knows. Betty knows that Gulb is not going to leave that easy. So she has this ideal. And she sends Finn and Simon out of the tunnel, out of Gulb, and she decides she's going to stay into the stomach, okay, because she's too afraid that if she takes the Ice King's crown out, that it'll revert back to the original Ice King magic. So now that she has this opportunity where the layers, the essential form of this crown, has been reset, essentially, okay, she's going to make a wish. But she can't, so Simon and Finn leave, but Simon's quite upset about it. He's like, why? You need to just come with me. She's like, it's going to destroy everything if I don't stay here and find a way to fix this. And she did create it, so it kind of makes sense. She's not crazy anymore now because it also stripped her back to her original form. So she doesn't have that madness going on in her anymore. And she puts the crown on, and she takes a moment, and she makes a wish. And she wishes to banish Gulb from this universe. And it doesn't work. You hear this loud noise, it goes off. It's basically like a no, that's not going to work. And so she tries again. I wish to banish Gulb from this world. I wish to banish Gulb. I wish Gulb would go disappear. She wishes all these things, and it's not working. So finally, she goes into her heart, and she makes one last wish that she can think of, and she says, I wish to keep Simon safe. And it works. The crown makes a little noise that is clearly okay, your wish has been granted. And at that moment, outside of Gulb, we get to see Gulb starts freaking out. Okay, he turns into this shadow monster for a second, but then these ribbons come back and they wrap around him, and he is transformed as a fusion between Betty and Gulb. So in order to keep Simon safe, Betty had to sacrifice herself and become one with this demon god in order to open a portal and leave. Obviously, Simon's very, very upset about this, because now he's finally himself. And Betty is gone. She's gone. And the sacrifice that it took, all those years that it took her to finally get Simon to be safe. And she doesn't even get to be with him, which I was like, oh, heartbreaking thing, right? Yes. But they actually did a really good job of really bringing this love story back into the loop. Okay, I will say, with the Fiona and Cake episode, which I don't know. I think I might just go into it now. No, I think I will wait. I want to wait because I do. It's my son's birthday today, so I didn't want to be here too long, and I want to do the tarot cards still first. So yeah, so Simon and Betty. I will say that there's more to the story, but this is where I'm going to end it for today, where Betty actually ended up fusing with a god of chaos in order to keep the man that she loved safe and the rest of the planet. Okay, and she did it, so that's the characters from Adventure Time that, some of them are in my my tarot deck here, my Adventure Time tarot deck, which we're gonna pull from in a minute too. Hello there, Sandra, nice to see you here. So gosh, I just love that story because I love the fact that two people's love for each other could drive them and inspire them to do such incredible things. But you know, the thing that she did, it truly was a cosmic crime. And I do think that, I think I've heard before that the archangels are more like the policemen for things like that. But I also love that story because of the fact that it shows you how important and powerful music is. You know, music was the only thing that could drive back the god of chaos, you know, which was disharmony. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things Princess Bubblegum shouts out. It's like, oh, we have to harmonize in order to drive them back. Okay, but there's so many more characters and things to talk about in the future. That's just one little part of them. Trying to think if there's anything else. I'm just trying to search my brain real quick. Hi there, Lakeside Laura. Nice to see you. Okay. So anyway, we're gonna get into the rest of the wrap up of that story with the Fiona and Cake portion of what happened. Because what happens to Simon after that? You know, like I was always curious, like what, like they did show some clips at the very end of the show of the very last episode of the season where all that happened, and they did show Simon going to Prismo, the Wishmaster, and he did wish again for Betty to come back, and he actually got the same response as Magic Man got, which was when Prismo granted the wish, what materialized in the wish room, in the time room, was a trash basket with a basketball hoop on top of it. So apparently once you were taken by gold, like there's no coming back from that. Yeah, some really powerful things there. Okay, so now that we did that, now that we talked about some of that story, okay, and you know, that's the other thing it was reminding me of. You know, I've noticed some similar themes here with the stories and the things that I am drawn to. Okay, I noticed that the stories that always get me the most are these ones. Okay, like for instance, I did a show here on the OA. Okay, when I talked about the OA, what was the main one of the themes that is similar to this Adventure Time story? Okay, well in the OA, it also involves traveling the multiverse. Okay, if you guys know, the OA is a show on Netflix that was a 2-season show, which they should have kept going with it, but they didn't. It was amazing, and it was about how the right movements with the right feeling with a group of people, you could actually travel dimensions. You could travel interdimensionally. Okay, so that was very similar to what was happening here with the Adventure Time thing. What happened with the OA though? Like, well, the OA they all did manage to hop dimensions. Okay, but what happened? Well, her love interest, Homer, ended up forgetting. He could not remember her up until like the very end. Okay, well, same thing with Betty and Ice King here. Ice King could not remember. He just the magic of the crown made him completely forget who he was until the very end. And then there was another one. There was another one that I noticed. I was like, there's similar themes that I've noticed with the stories that I love. Okay, there's the Doctor Who and Clara storyline too. Towards the end, because of how far they pushed each other. Okay, eventually Doctor Who himself is forced. Well, they not really forced. They kind of voluntarily do a flip of the coin, where it's like one of us has to forget each other, type of thing, and he ends up being the one that forgets. Okay, even though at the very, like, you know, after he forgets and stuff, he knows that he's searching, that he had a companion named Clara. He knows that they did these things together. Okay, and he's actually standing right in front of her, and he's telling her, I'm searching for her. I don't know who she is anymore, but I know if I saw her, I'd remember her. And she's just kind of like, that's kind of sad, but I'm glad he's still alive, type of thing, looking at him. And he actually says to her, stories are where memories go when they've been forgotten. Okay. And he plays the guitar. This particular version of Doctor Who, which is Peter Capaldi's Doctor, okay, he plays the guitar. That's one of his things. He also has sonic sunglasses instead of a sonic screwdriver, because sunglasses are cool to him. And so he keeps playing this tune. He keeps getting stuck on this tune. And she's like, well, you know, you said that stories are where memories go when they've been forgotten. Well, maybe sometimes they become songs. Okay, so I've noticed that this similar theme keeps appearing in the stories that I love the most. So I'm just offering this up to you guys. So look for the stories that you love. See if there's a similar theme between the stories that you love. Okay, and how they move you. See if there's something to that. You know, go on a little adventure, so to speak. Adventure time. It's adventure time. All right, let's pull the fortune cookie. It's time, guys. It's time. I only have 2 left. All right, so actually, I'm going to let you guys decide. I'm going to let you guys pick today. All right, this is my right hand. This is my left hand. Which one should we open today? I know there's a delay in the chat, so I'm waiting. I'm gonna see how many people. Okay, we got 1 left. We got 1 right. Come on, a couple more people. I need a little bit. There we go. Left hand. We got 2 lefts. Nope, 3 actually. Okay. Left, left, left. Only 1 right so far. 2 rights. All right, 1 more person, and then I'm deciding. Go ahead. 1 more person, left or right. If there's anyone else. There we go. Oh, I think it might end up being left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, we got 4 lefts. Okay, so left hand. You guys have chosen the left-hand path. Oh my God. Appropriate for talking about the demon god gold, right? Left-hand path. No. Please, I'm not anything in. Okay, listen, I'm not. I don't even want to say the word. I'm not, I'm not that. All right, so here we go. And this better have a fortune in it. Like, remember that one? Okay, it does. It does. It has a fortune in it. Okay. What does the collective need to know? What is the collective? Oh, shit. Oh, there. Hi there, Matthew and Honora. I see you guys up there. Yes. Okay. All right, here we go. Education's purpose is to replace an empty mind with an open one. Nice. I do love learning things. I really, really do. But honestly, studying the stories that I love, especially with Adventure Time, nothing is more important to me than the stories that I love. I love them so much. Okay. Shall we pull some cards? It feels like it's been a hot minute, guys. Oh, and that's the other thing. The last stream I did, why do I always have to do this to myself? The last stream I did in the last house, I was so messed up still because all I could do was feel the energy of the person that I was living with in the house. I could feel them watching the stream. I can feel them when they're watching the stream. I don't feel like they are right now. I don't get that sense. I don't get that feeling. But I'm really, I'm very telepathic. I'm very empathetic. And it was fucking me up. I'll just straight up say it. It fucked me up. All I could think about when I would pull the cards was him watching and how was he going to interpret those. It was like that was the eggshells that I had to walk on when I was living there. And I'm free from that now. And I'm so fucking thankful to be free from that now, guys. So let's go ahead and pull some cards. Let's see what this next week's energy is going to be. Wish me luck. Okay. Yeah, I just don't get the feeling that, I'm just hoping anyway. I'm hoping that there's just no more reason for that person to come up into my space. Because I'm happy and ready to be free from all of that. Feeling great. Okay. Okay. Humbly request that you please assist me. Please make us aware of what it is we need to know for the collective, for this next week's energies. We're going to do this spread first, this 3-card pull, and then we're going to do my Adventure Time one. And then we're going to go ahead and head on out of here. No dancing today. I was going to, but I couldn't. I just too much to do today. Like, I got to get out of here and I got to go spend some time with my son because it's his birthday today. He's 17. He's my third son. And I'm super excited to spend some time with him tonight. Who knows? Maybe we'll watch some Adventure Time. Although Adventure Time's not really so much his thing anymore as like Futurama is and stuff. Okay, yep. All right, I feel it. I feel it ready. All right, there we go. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm getting really good feelings. I'm getting really good vibes. I'm getting really good vibes about this this card pull here. Or at least maybe if when I'm feeling into the energies for next week, I'm getting really, really, really good energies about it. Okay, so what is it that we need to know though? Just cutting this 3 times. Boop. All right, here we go. I will tell him you guys said happy birthday. Thank you, Lakeside Laura. Okay. Yeah. Are we ready? Are we ready? We ready? Yeah, we are. Okay. Next week's energies. Boop. All right, the first guy we got is the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so the Knight of Pentacles. All right, this guy is someone. Okay, so earth signs. Okay, this is going to be someone who's a little bit slower moving. Okay, a little bit maybe even stubborn, I would say. It's someone who actually does have a real talent or a real gift, though, to share with the world. All right, the thing about the Knight of Pentacles energy, though, is that they're hesitant. Okay, they're hesitant to go out there and just share themselves with people and just to go to the groups or to go to the meetings or go to the conferences even, so to speak. Okay, there's someone who like kind of feels like they need permission, all right, to go to these types of festivities or these types of events, but really they don't need to wait anymore. And if they do wait, that's the thing. If they do wait to be invited to these things, they most likely won't be. Okay, because they need to have more confidence in themselves, that they have something of value that they need to share with the world, that they have to share with the people. And it's time for them to make that move and to go take their gifts to the places that it needs to be seen. Okay, let's pull another one though real quick. Tell us more for next week's energy. So you got something to share with people and you need to take it to people. Okay, let's see. Tell us something else. Okay. You may feel like you're in a little bit of a competition even. Okay. Or maybe like some kind of coordinated event of some sort that you're thinking about going to that is going to take, like I said, the coordinated efforts of a bunch of different puzzle pieces falling into place in order for this show to get on the road, so to speak. Okay. It could be but like I said, it could be a competition. It could be there's a lot of actions happening around, where all these people are just gathered together and everyone's trying to do like their own thing. So it can get kind of a little bit chaotic or hectic. Okay, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative thing. So maybe part of the reason why a Knight of Pentacles energy would be hesitant about going to a group or a gathering of some sort is because maybe they feel like they're not going to stand out enough and they're not going to get seen enough or like acknowledged even, especially people with wounds of being unacknowledged. Okay. Things of that nature. It can make you have a little bit of a sore spot for being nervous or scared to really share yourself with people because maybe in the past there was competition where you didn't get seen and you didn't get picked. And so it makes you a little bit hesitant to do that. Let's see what else we got. One more card here. Okay. This is the last part of the message. Yeah. Okay. But you really should do it because you really are working hard. We got 3 of Pentacles here. Okay. So you need to take yourself to the places where you can be seen, where you can share your gifts with people. Don't wait for the invitation. You just have to make the plans and do it. Even and the reason I'm really saying this now too is because earth signs move kind of slow. Okay, earth Yeah, that earth, and we got the Three of Pentacles too, which means to me says that whatever it is that you're building and that you're creating is something that is actually pretty solid, okay, pretty tangible in this world. I mean, it's not of the mind, it's not, which is swords, you know what I'm saying? It's not actions, it's something that you're really working hard on, chipping away at. Okay. But yeah, and with the Five of Rods, there could be a little bit of a competition, or a little bit of a lot of people who are doing that same similar type of stuff. But keep working on it, keep chipping away at it, because you really are getting somewhere with it. I also see this always makes me think of apprenticeship. So if there's some kind of apprenticeship, or you're working under someone, okay, like the other thing I always see is like a racetrack, or a race, okay, which you have this goal, you want to get from goal A to goal B, and this is just the beginning of it. So you're just at the beginning, so don't be too hard on yourself. If there's some new skill that you've picked up that you want to share with people, that you feel like there's a lot of people that maybe are doing the same type of thing, okay, don't fret about it, because you are actually creating something that is stable and real and solid and grounded. And just because you're at the beginning of it doesn't mean that it's not real. Okay. The only other thing that I like to always remember when it comes to the Pentacles energies is that it's not just about, in this case, like it's not just about giving, or it's not just about the sharing of yourself with the people, but it's also about being able to receive, things too. Okay. Opening your heart to love is what I'm hearing. Okay. And maybe you've had some issues happen in the past, you've had some hardships that have happened, and maybe it made you shut down a little bit, but you are really making some real progress and real work at opening that back up, even with all the group of people, all the commotion. Okay, you are doing a good job, and keep going. I just get really, they're like overwhelming me with like good feelings here. So really look for that, because I really think you guys have something real to share with people. And I know that was kind of short and sweet, but I feel like it was to the point. So we're going to go with that one, okay, for some of the next week's energies. All right, and now we are going to open the Adventure Time. Okay, I was trying to remember who Betty's card was, but I don't remember for sure, and I'm not going to sit here and look through every single one to find Betty's character. I do know the Ice King was represented by the Fool, though, which makes complete sense, because, like I said, he forgot who he was. He forgot who he was. The magic of the crown. It drove him nuts. That's the thing. Magic is real. And Adventure Time is really telling us about our reality. I totally believe that. In fact, sometimes I even wonder, part of that mushroom war that they talk about, where the bombs went off and there's a large chunk of the earth that is missing. I'm pretty sure at one of the episodes they said something about it being a cobalt bomb or something like that. And I could be completely misremembering this, but I'm pretty sure Tony Rodriguez talks about how when he was in the secret space program, okay, that part of what they were telling humans out there was that Earth couldn't be gone back to because of the radiation from the cobalt bombs or something that had gone off on Earth. So it just made me think, like, this is like part of what they're telling people out there. I'm wondering, like, this is part of what they're telling people out there. Like, it's funny that we get a little sample of it in Adventure Time. Okay. So let's go ahead and do one more collective card pull. Okay. It's my Adventure Time tarot deck. Oh, look at their Shogo from last week. Or 2 weeks ago, I should say. Okay. All right. One more time here. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Connected. The heart is on. The heart is on, guys. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was so happy when my daughter brought this little hat home. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, you have to let me stream in that for my Adventure Time live stream. Of course, she was super excited about it. All right, one more shuffle. You guys know this is a rather big deck, so it takes me a minute to really get the energy shuffled up good, because I just don't feel right only shuffling a couple times. I just can't do it, guys. It has to be like a bunch. Okay, just has to be for the energies to really get in there, because I'm really thinking about next week here. We're putting it in there. Yep. Okay, let's see. Are we still getting that good feeling? Is there anything else? Okay. Just tapping into the energies. Yeah, we got some good stuff coming. It says like the middle to the end of next week. There's some good energy. There's some good news coming. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut this 3 times. Get the energy level in there. Boop. Here we go. Next week's energies. What do we need to know for next week's energies? Boop. Ooh, baby. Okay. We got the 10 of Swords. Okay, so something is done and over with. Something is completely just dead in the ground. Okay, like if there was, okay, the other thing that they're saying to me really quickly is that there's something that you were looking to quit or get out of or say no to, that this is giving you permission to do that. Okay, so, oh, I like that. I get a good feeling about that. Okay, the character, though, that we got here for this Adventure Time card, though, is actually, this is Jake's actual bio father, which we don't even find out about until season 9 or 10. Okay, that actually Jake and has a brother named Jermaine. They both look pretty much exactly the same, but you find out through the birth story that Jermaine was born as a womb baby. In fact, Jake calls it. He gets upset when he finds this out. He's like, "No, I'm a majestic womb baby," and he wasn't, though. Okay, what happened was this alien guy, this blue stretchy guy, okay, who can shapeshift, he bit Jake's father on the head. Okay, and it actually created Jake, and Jake sprouted out of his head. Okay, and when he was born, it was the same day that his brother Jermaine was born from his mom, but he was actually born from his father's head, which I find very interesting, considering that is how Athena was born. Okay, that is how Athena was born from Zeus's head. Okay, so they're kind of throwing some mythology in there, but making it more, cosmic and alienish, because it's the alien this time. Okay, but what you find out later on, and this is kind of sad, is that this guy is actually kind of a bad dude, because he goes around he's able to open portals, okay, and travel through different parts of the multiverse and go into different realities. And what this guy's been doing is he's been going into different realities and biting people and impregnating them basically with a child of his. And then when he starts to run out of life, when he starts to get old, he goes and he gets one of these children and he tricks them, okay, into basically giving them their life force, giving him their stretchy essence, so to speak. And he ends up he kills his own children, basically. This is what he's doing. But Jake is a little bit smarter than the average bear, so to speak. And so Jake does not fall for this trick and ends up actually, even after he originally starts to fall for the trick, okay, but once he picks up on what's going on, he's able to switch out these magic belts, which is what's switching their energies. Okay, and he gets his bio dad to start stretching, and it stretches all his life force back into Jake. And then he mentions, he's like, I'm never going to let you do anything to harm my pups. And when he finds out that Jake's got pups, he's like, oh, that's fine. I'll just shrink back into my ship and I'll go and steal the stretchy essence from one of your pups. And Jake is like, hell no. Okay. And he grabs his spaceship and he throws his spaceship into a black hole. All right. Essentially stranding himself on a planet in the middle of nowhere because he was portaled there through this guy's whatever story, like the way he lured him there. Okay. And then they have to go through this. Finn and Betty even have to go through this whole ordeal on Mars in order to bust a space-time telemetry capsule. And when they bust this capsule, they are able to, with their mind consciousness, bring Jake back towards them. It's quite complicated and tricky, but you know, I really think that things like this really exist. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave that there. 10 of Swords, something is dead and over with. Something is done. Okay. You don't have to go through this anymore. You've been given permission to quit something. It's dead. All right, let's go. One more time. Could be betrayal. It could, I mean, think about it. This guy, he absolutely betrayed Jake 100%. Okay. So let's keep going. What else can you tell us about this next week's energies? Wow, look who shows up. The King of Wands. So funny because I was thinking about him when we were talking about, this is the Grand Wizard I was talking about. It was like, sorry, Ice King, you know, they took your powers and now you're going to die. But all right, so the King of Wands, which this is another funny thing is that Alexis got this card earlier today too for her live stream that she did for us when she pulled some cards. And she got the King of Wands too. So this is a guy who's a man of action. Okay, he's a man who naturally, like in this particular case, he naturally knows how to be a ruler, so to speak. Okay, let me see what else I can remember about this particular character. He was able to fight with bubbles and stuff like that. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I just threw that out there. The King of Wands, though, he's more mature than the Knight of Wands. But he's someone who is really into just getting up and going, just doing the things, getting the stuff done, getting out there, doing the things that he's passionate about. Like I said, not really so much thinking about them, just getting out and doing, which honestly, that character, they might need to stop and slow down and think about things before they do them. Wow, guys, I can't believe I'm like drawing such a blank on this card's energies. It could be because I'm having a hot flash, so it's kind of thrown me off a little bit. So just give me a second. So yeah. What is it that you need to be ruling over when it comes to your time and your energy, your attention? Okay, where is it that you need to be focusing that on? Okay, where do you need to step up and be more assertive? Okay, with your energy, like especially when we're coming on the back of the 10 of Swords, you know, they're telling you when it comes to this thing being done and over with, especially if it's something that you're saying no to, you need to not really think about it. You need to trust yourself. You need to just do it. You need to just wield that wand. Okay. This is, see, with the Knight of Wands, he's more of someone who goes after that goal, goes after that shiny thing, and maybe doesn't even really care about that shiny thing, just wants to, just likes the chase, just likes the journey, right? Well, this King of Wands, the king, okay, he's going to actually be about the goal too. He has a goal in mind. He's trying to get somewhere. He's trying to, in this case, this guy is ruling over Wizard City, and he's the one that's in charge of keeping all the wizards in order and keeping them doing the right things, right? Okay, so let's pull another card though, just so I can see what's the last part of the message. Yeah. Okay. Clearing that energy out. Yep. You need to be more assertive. You need to have confidence, but without ego. That was the other thing that I remember. Okay, confidence, but without the ego. Okay, let's keep going. One more thing. Tell us the last part of the message for next week's energies. Oh, I got a good feeling about it. Okay, here we go. Woo, baby. We had a good feeling about it, and we got a good card. We got the Two of Cups. So if this is something that you're headed towards or you're looking to get to, okay, the Two of Cups is very much, it could be a romantic relationship coming up. Could be just an agreement, a partnership of coming together of two people to share emotions, all right, to share love. Okay. So in this particular case, we got the Psychic Tandem War Elephant. Which I love that character. It's too funny. He's an ancient creature. That's the thing. That's one of the reasons I love Adventure Time so much. They bring out ancient beings, ancient creatures. He actually kind of had lost his purpose, lost his place in the world after Finn and Jake rescued him from this dungeon. Okay, he didn't feel like he had a purpose, and so the purpose that he had to figure out of what it was what does he want to do? What does he want to do? Okay, he'd never been given that choice before, and so now he was able to go on his journey to find what he wanted, what he loved. Okay, which I feel like it's very Two of Cups-ish. Okay, he wanted to go on his own journey to find a companion. And he did end up finding a companion, someone that really did need his help too. Her name was Mahjong. She was a witch, and she had what's the word for it? She kind of blundered up some too. She kind of was into dark stuff, so she kind of been knocked out from, like, put into a coma. That's what I'm looking for. That's the word I was looking for. She'd been put into a coma, and so she needed help. And since this guy is the psychic tandem war elephant, he could just connect to her. He could connect inside her mind and telepathically talk to her. And he was like, I'm going to help you. And she's like, oh, wow, I can finally hear and see something, because he could show her through his eyes what he was seeing. And she's like, hold on a second. Wait a second. Are you that tandem war elephant guy? Like, because she was actually against, she did not like him originally. Okay. But eventually they ended up working well together and forming a companionship. They both were able to help each other. He gave him a purpose. All right. And it let her have the freedom and movement that she needed to just go on living in the world. So anyway, that's some interesting Adventure Time card characters that we got today. So let's see, we got that Ten of Swords, which is, like I said, something's dead and over with. You need to go ahead and take the initiative and be confident in the actions that you're taking, because you have that King's Fire behind you. You need to just take that action, that energy to go forward to find the companionship or the union or the harmony that you want in your life. You can have it. Okay, you can have some kind of psychic connection with someone, a telepathic connection with someone that's real. Okay, it's a real thing. Okay, the only other thing that I usually mention this with the Two of Cups, is that it could be someone who's going on that twin flame journey. Since I know that's such a popular thing to do in this community. Okay, I always think of it because, and I'll explain this one more time. It's the Ten of Cups. All the cards, it's like a story. Okay, you go from the Ace to the 10. Okay, well, in the Eight of Cups, all right, it looks like something is missing and the person's going on a journey. And what I feel like they're going to look for is that Two of Cups connection. Okay, because the 8 and the 2 of Cups will complete it until it'll make it the 10 of Cups. Obviously, the 10 of Cups, which is that closure, that completion, that full circle of that happy ending, that happy ending that everyone wants. And it's coming. I feel it. I feel it for you guys. You guys are going to get some good things coming up this next week. I'm just overwhelmingly full of it right now. I feel it. I feel that good energy right this minute. So I'm telling you guys, look forward to next week. I look forward to come and leave a comment in the a comment underneath the, what is that? Wow, am I losing words today? Drop a comment under the video and let me know next week if something good happened to you. If you're watching this later on in the future, especially. I hope you guys have a pleasant evening and weekend. I will be out there door dashing. Please wish me some luck with some tips. Okay, because I am living on my own now with my family and I'm loving it. And if you are interested in a tarot reading with me, please email me at auroradiamondheart@gmail.com. And one last thing, I guess, if you could help me out, like the video. Please like my video. And if you want to hang out and hear some more Adventure Time stuff or whatever else, magical things stories that I can share with you, think about subscribing. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's it for today, guys. I think I have some food waiting for me downstairs. Oh, hi, Hope. Sorry I didn't see you at the last second. Hi. It's all right that you were late. No biggie. Okay. So give me a shout out in the chat, guys. Wish me luck. Say goodbye. Unless there's anything else. Adventure time. Come on, grab your friends. We'll go to very distant lands. We take the dog and pin the human. Fun never ends. It's adventure time. Yeah. Bye, guys. See you in the dreamland, that was the one last thing there was one more thing I was going to say. I literally have my thing on the end. I'm like ready to click end. Let me tell you, ever since I told you guys about like the blue fairy's back, and and that one girl, she had that dream about getting the house like a day after talking to me, and then she ended up getting the house, a beautiful place that she wanted to live in. Okay. Ever since then, so many people have been telling me that I've been in their dreams, and I'm fucking loving it. Please tell me if you've dreamed about me. Please. I love it. I love hearing about it. So don't hesitate. I won't, even if we're doing something weird, that's fine. Just tell me. It's so much fun to me. I know that I do most of my work over in the dream space. So please share with me. All right. Bye, guys. I'm leaving. Bye. Love you guys. Hope you dream about me. See you in the dream space.